Carter. Get ready, son, let's go. Come on. It's Friday night. It's Friday night live. It's Friday night. It's Friday night with Cat Carter. It's Friday night. Hey. It's Friday night. It's Friday night. Yeah. It's Friday night with Cat Carter. It's Friday night. It's Friday night live. It's Friday night. It's Friday night.
Hey, welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Cat Carter. How's everybody doing? It is Friday. We made it another week. Woo! It's been hot. It has been hot here. I don't know what is going on with the weather, but it has been very hot. Have you been hot? It has been very hot. I'm trying to understand because Labor Day is usually around the time where the seasons are supposed to change. Like I think right at Labor Day or right after Labor Day, that's supposed to be like towards the end of summer. What is going on? I tell you what, that's all right. I've got something to help you feel a little bit better. I am so excited to have this artist on this show tonight. I have been anticipating. I have been waiting for him. Charles Prophet Jr. He is in the house. And guess what? I have kidnapped him for the entire hour. And so we're going to find out about Charles. We're going to listen to some of his music. And we're going to have a really, 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 really amazing time. So if you are here tonight, you are at the right place at the right time. So Friday Night Live is a positive platform where we come to inform, innovate, and inspire. And Charles is a Michigan native. He plays the tenor sax. And it's like nobody's business. When he decided on his future in music, he was drawn to jazz as its language. It was a genre that communicated to people without words. Please welcome to Friday Night Live, Charles Prophet Jr. Hey, Charles.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yes. How are you?
I am amazing. I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk to you finally.
I know, right. I'm just so excited. I mean, I just cannot wait for this show to get here. Oh my gosh. I've been trying to get Charles for I think a whole year. I'm not sure. Have I been trying to get you for a whole year? Was it a year? Maybe a year and a half. But this is a divine time, and now we can do our thing. Yes. So welcome to Friday Night Live, Charles. We are just so excited to have you here. We are honored to have you here, and we are so appreciative of you.
I'm honored to be
here. Sharing your gift. Yes. So I'm going to dive right into the questions. Is it okay? You ready?
It's fine with me.
All right. Ready. Okay. What I want to know is who or what inspired you to start playing the saxophone?
I don't know if someone necessarily inspired me to play saxophone. I guess how I kind of got involved in music. I was a curious child and I had a lot of hobbies. And my uncle, he was a drummer. So when I would go over his house, I would sit down and play the drums. And so it was something that I loved to do. So I thought, at some point I would carry on the torch of being the family's drummer at some point. So when I got to middle school, I went down. So first of all, when I got to middle school, so that first week, kind of like now, first week of school, we in there. And they had an announcement on the speaker say, hey, if you want, if you're interested in band, come on down to the band room and you can join the band. So I'm like, okay, well, I've been playing drums at my uncle's house. I know how to do this. I can do it.
Right.
So go down there, talk to the band teacher, and I'm like, I want to be a drummer. I heard the announcement. I want to be a drummer. He was like, so he asked me. He was like, you know what? Have you been playing somewhere else before? Have you studied? I told him I was like, no, I've been playing. You know, at my uncle's house in the basement. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, well, I tell you what. He was like, I got too many drummers right now.
Oh.
He said, but if you look in that room and see if anything else in there you want to play, you can play that.
Oh my goodness.
So I say, okay. So right. So I look in the band room, and it was like 100. It was like 100 drummers. It was like a percussion drum area, right? It was about 100 kids over there. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but it had to be at least 20, 25, 30 kids. So I'm like, okay, I see what he's saying now. So I looked around, and basically it was 4 other instruments. I mean, obviously it's more instruments than that, but this is 6th grade band. So it was 4 basic instruments there. It was flute, clarinet, saxophone, and trumpet. Now I knew I wasn't playing no trumpet because my cousin had a trumpet. I couldn't play that thing at all. So I'm like, that's out. And then in 6th grade, you know, I'm like trying to fit in. So I know I didn't want to be walking around with no flute or no clarinet. It's like, so it was kind of like, okay, well, we probably gonna play this saxophone. So that's kind of how that kind of came about. But once I got it, it was kind of like, I don't know, it was almost like that was supposed to happen.
Oh,
like
wow.
Once I got it, it just made sense. Yeah.
So was it hard
I can't explain it.
That's interesting you said that. So was it hard to learn the saxophone, or did you feel like you were like in your element? Everything just kind of fell into place.
Yeah. I think anything can be hard to learn if you're not necessarily into it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're into something, you don't think of it as being hard to learn. It's just things to learn. But to answer your question, there are some learning curves with learning to play the saxophone, for sure. But you know, being an 11-year-old kid at the time, it was just new and exciting.
So when did you figure out you really had something with the saxophone and you were like, maybe I could do this professionally? I got a little something. How did that happen? Like, when did you realize that?
It's been a gradual process. I mean,
Okay.
It was. I mean, there have been some things that have happened along the ways that, you know. I mean, I guess, how can I answer this question? So if you're asking, I guess the question is, when did I know I could?
Yeah, like what confirmed it? What confirmed it that this is what I'm supposed to be doing? Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, I like I said, I just think it just always felt like I was something I was supposed to do. Like I said, I started in the 6th grade playing saxophone. By the time I made it to the 8th grade, I was already better than a lot of the people that was in the high school.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that confirms it.
So my teacher at the time, he taught at the middle school and the high school. And so he was starting the marching band back because the marching band had kind of not been going on, I believe. Or maybe he was just trying to make it bigger. So he talked to some of the some of us that was like older, like in the 8th grade that could play, just to kind of fill the high school band out. So when I went over there, you know, it was a senior, a girl. Her name is Tisha. Shout out to Tisha.
Shout out to Tisha.
She actually turned into a singer, and she been touring with Brownstone. So,
oh wow,
shout out to her. But when I was in the 8th grade, she was a senior, and she was great. So I wasn't out playing her, but everybody else, I was tearing them up. I was tearing them out the front. So it was like little stuff like that. It was little stuff like that, you know.
Do you remember the
Um,
name of your music
but like
teacher?
that was high school, and then once I started like doing gigs and stuff like that, it was other hurdles that
Yeah.
I had to get
Yeah.
over. So that took a little bit of learning as well.
Okay. Do you remember the name of your music teacher back then? He seems like he had he was really like cutting for you. Like he saw something in you and wanted to help push that out. Do you remember what his name was?
Oh yeah, his name is Damian Crutcher. He
Give him a shout
runs
out.
a nonprofit here in the city of Detroit for inner city youth to get them involved in band and symphony orchestra. Um, Mr. Crutcher is definitely my favorite teacher, and he's probably one of
Oh,
the handful of people outside of my family who has changed my life
yeah.
dramatically.
Yeah.
I talked to him not too long ago. He still looks out for me to this day. I love Mr. Crutcher, man, and he's been definitely um, a great asset to our community here. Uh, and I'm not the only musician that's out here, making it happen that he's brought up. He's brought up some great musicians. So shout out to Damian
Wow.
Crutcher.
Yeah, shout out to Damon Kretcher. I mean, I think that's strong work when you take the time out to help mold the youth um, or the young people, and then and introduce them to the deeper part of what it means to play the saxophone and music and the art of it. I mean, I think that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. All right. So,
Mhm.
what do you enjoy most about being a musician or a saxophonist?
Um, I enjoy performing. I enjoy performing in front of people. I enjoy the camaraderie with my fellow musicians. I have a couple of different bands. We all kind of work together here in the city, and I get
Yeah.
the chance to work with a couple different groups, and I see my other friends at jam sessions here. So it's a great community. Man, it's just I don't know. Like I said, it's man,
It's almost like family, but it's
it's almost
music.
kind of hard to put it into words because it's
Yeah.
like it's when I see it, it's like it's almost like going and seeing your extended family almost.
Yeah.
We get
Yeah.
together, play some cards, we do this instead of playing cards and stuff. We got instruments, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like our So that's probably one of the things I love the most about being a musician for sure.
So what is it about your audience? What is it? What is it? Is it the energy that they extend when they're listening to you? Is it um is it seeing them appreciate your music? Is it, or what is it about the audience playing in front of the audience? What is it that you love so much about it?
It's all of that. It's the conversation I'm having with my band with them. So anytime I get out and I step out and I take a solo, you know, I get a chance to express myself
Yeah.
and to be appreciated is definitely what you sit here and sit in your room and practice for hours and hours.
It is a difference though, Charles. Like I've done concerts before. I've produced concerts. There is a difference, like, and I get what you're saying. There is a difference like playing in your room as opposed to going to a live concert. I mean, it is a big difference. The energy is different, the atmosphere is different. I mean, I love live concerts and live performances. But it's something about now. I don't play the instrument. I just MC, but it's a difference. Like when you're in there with that crowd, they're excited. They want to hear the who we have on the line. It's a big difference. It's fun. It's
Hmm.
energetic. It's joy. I mean, it's just a happy, good feeling. And we need that now with everything that's going on in the world or has been going on in the world. That right there, that's a happy place. I get it. That's a happy place for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
All right. So how do you balance your music with family or your other obligations? How do you stay balanced? How do you do that? Because I know that music can take a lot of bit of your time. So how do you balance that out so that everything in your life is pretty much balanced, and you're not giving everything to just your music, your ministry of your music?
Yeah, well, you just have to be, selective about what you're doing, and you have to just keep in mind that you can't do every gig, you can't do every show. Um, some of them you just gonna have to let them be, so you can have some peace because you can run yourself into the ground, and you can become, stagnant. And I mean, it's just like anything else. You
Yeah,
gotta take some time for yourself and
you
your
got that
loved
right.
ones. And it
Yes,
can happen, and I've done it.
me
It was
too.
like almost ready to quit for me. Yeah, so you
Yeah,
just have to be mindful of what you agreeing to. I think that's just the best way to really balance it because if you don't, you're gonna be working yourself into the ground.
yeah. And then there's like all work and no, like you say, no me
No
time.
play.
All work and no relaxation. Just
Hmm.
all work, work, and that's not good for anybody. Yes, I agree.
No, it's
All
not.
right.
No, it's not. Yeah, you gotta have some hobbies, and you gotta have some other things outside of the music to really kind of just take you away. You gotta have something else. It can't just be. I mean, it can be, but you just have to be mindful that you don't want to burn yourself out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Do you write music too, or do you do a lot of renditions of like some of your favorite songs?
I do a little bit of writing. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a songwriter, but
Okay.
I have written songs. Um, songwriting. It's a lot of it's a lot of you have to they call it the music business. There's a
Hmm.
lot of little businesses under the music business, and everybody and some people are good at a lot of different things. You got
Great.
someone like Stevie Wonder. Stevie
Great.
Wonder is an incredible musician. He's an
Hmm.
incredible performer.
Hmm.
He's an incredible songwriter. He writes for other people. He's a great singer.
Yes.
We love Stevie Wonder because there's not too many people like that. There's not too many. Not too many
You
people
right.
that's writing, singing, performing, writing for other people.
Hmm. And
I
they
think
good at
I
it.
other than him,
Hmm.
Babyface,
Yeah.
uh, Mr. Kelly before he had to go take that trip. You
Yeah.
know, it's a
Yeah.
it's people that do that is incredibly gifted. I and I guess it's not only is it a gift, it's a skill. It's something that you got to work at. I remember hearing Brian McKnight say that he write a song a day. I think he said it's because he said it's something you got to work at it every day. So that's not something I work at every day. I'm more of a performer. I work on a lot of my
Hmm.
performance skills and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
um and still working at it honestly, but but I like I said, I do write some songs, and a lot of times when I do write a song, I might get one of my friends to help me really kind of produce it out and make it
Yeah.
sound better than what it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So since we talked about gift, I wanted to ask you: is playing the saxophone? Would you consider that a gift, a talent, or both, and why?
I think it could be a gift, a talent, or a skill. Is all three.
Yeah.
Is you got to have some kind of facilities to be able to. I mean, just to be able to blow and play because you got to sync up. It's like a whole body experience. You putting this
Yeah.
thing in your mouth, you blowing, you pushing down on keys at the same time. It's like you got three different things going on at the same time. So, it takes some skill to be able to, do that and play and, just know different stuff, whatever. Now, what the talent comes in is knowing what to do
with
at
what
the
you
right
got.
time.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That's a talent.
Mm-hmm.
That's a talent. And then you got cats that's gifted. It's like they always, like people that's gifted. It's like they just come. It's just come natural for them. Like I think about my brother here from Detroit, James Carter. Like, he's like a gifted. You think about people like that like gifted him, like Michael Brecker, like Kenny Garrett, like people that people that just kind of beyond their peers in a way. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and you don't necessarily have to be them to be great. You can be great in your own right, but it's
right.
It's definitely different levels for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you say James Carter? Am I related? Let me see. James Carter. I might have to look him up and bring him on the show. I wonder if he's my long lost relative. Yeah. He's in Michigan area too. So does he play the saxophone?
He does.
Okay.
James Carter is one of the great instrument. He almost could go down as an all-time great.
We need to reach out to him.
I mean, he's a serious talent on the saxophone for sure. I mean, there's no getting around it. Definitely check him out from the Detroit area. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He was in high school flying out to do gigs with like Wynton Marsalis and stuff like that.
When he was in high school?
When he was in high school. Yeah.
Wow.
So
yeah, he was something. He was something then. Yeah, to be reckoned with. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, let's listen to one of your projects. We're going to listen to Better Days first. So tell us a little bit about that song, the rendition. Tell us, like, why did you choose that song? I love that song, by the way. But tell us a little bit about that, and we're going to listen to that.
Okay, Better Days is one of the tracks from my first and only release that I put out back in 2018 called Love and Sex. My producer, slash who's also playing the drums in this video, his name is Jeff Kennedy. He wrote and produced this song for one of his projects, I believe. And when we was working on mine, he brought that song to me and asked if I would want to do if I want to add this into the project. And when I heard it, I'm like, of course. So we added that into the project, man. I think it was a great tune. Once again, written and produced by the great Jeff Kennedy, another great Detroit artist here, drummer. Definitely, he's been producing #1 smooth jazz songs on the charts there for different people. Willie Bradley and some other folks. Their name escaped me right now. I do apologize.
That's okay. That's okay.
Great drummer, great guy, my man.
All right, well, let's check it out. Before we go there, I want to let you know that Keith the Gilchrist is hanging out with you. He said, tell Charles his homie the jazz man said hello. And it's an honor to have Keith on the show. Yeah. He's another great in the virtual world, and he's always promoting talented and dynamic musicians and artists and stuff. And so it's a blessing. I'm so I know he wasn't feeling good I think last year, so I'm glad he's doing better and glad to see him on the show. All right, let's listen to Better Days. All right, here we go.
All right.
All right, thank y'all so much. That was actually an original tune off my only album called Better Days. It was actually written and produced by the drummer, Jeff Kennedy. You Jeff Kennedy, that was a good song. That was a real good song there, boy. That was a real good song. Yeah, that was real good. I liked it.
Yeah, you played it good.
I appreciate that. Sometimes I play all right. Everyone, sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
Sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes it happens all right.
You know what? I really like you have an infectious energy when you're playing that saxophone. Your energy is like wow. It's just it draws people to you. I mean, you have it's just so it's like an innocent. It's like a sincere, pure. It's just really. I love your energy. Oh my gosh, it's just really really great. So your band is off the chain. Of course, you were off the chain too. But I was like, oh, what? So where were you all at? Were you all at like where were y'all at playing? Were y'all at festival or were you?
All right, so we were actually in the city here in Detroit, on the west side of Detroit, there at a community event put on by the DSO, the Detroit Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, nice.
I actually got that gig through Damian Crutcher, my music teacher that I was referring to earlier.
Oh,
so
wow.
They reached out to me, and you know, I do have the extreme honor and privilege to you know do a couple events with them when they call, and so that's been one that they called me for once before, and I was you know honored and glad that we could come back and go ahead and show them a couple of tunes that we do there. So, but yeah, that was an event put on by the DSO for the community and for the kids, and they had you know a taco truck out there and you know stuff for the kids to do, and they had a string quartet. They went on first and played some songs, you know, just you know for the you know just for the community there, because some people they might not ever get a chance to go down and hear the symphony. So you know they come out and they get to play out in the neighborhood. They sound amazing. You know, it's you know I don't get a chance to hear, and I'm a musician. I don't get a chance to hear strings as often as I would like either. They always sound amazing every time I hear them. But yeah, that's what we was just there on the right there outside, kind of like on a almost kind of like on a main side street there.
Right.
Playing for the community.
Okay. So when we were doing our sound checks, I asked you about like who did you kind of look up to, or what are some of the greats that you admired coming up, or even to still today. And I brought up R&B, and we were talking about it because it got really interesting. And we were talking about how the meaning of R&B has actually changed a little bit. But why don't you tell the people like some of the artists that you kind of like, you know, that you really you appreciate their music, that that you looked up to, or that inspired you along the way.
You know, I think I was inspired by a lot of the same folks that we all were inspired by. You know, the Luthers and you know all of our you know the Michael Jacksons and you know, the Whispers and the Earth, Wind and Fire and the Isley Brothers. You know, I also enjoy listening to a lot of Grover Washington Jr. You know, my father had like his anthology, so I used to listen to that a lot. You know, I remember him one day telling me, like, boy, if you could sound like that, you'd be all right. But, you know, my parents had a wide range of listening pleasure. Like my father, like I listened to a lot of James Brown. I love James Brown. I wish I could have been in his band. Like I love James Brown. But like my father, he would listen from stuff like James Brown, and then he'll come on and listen to ABBA, and then he'll listen to Neil Diamond, Isleys, and then my mother, she would listen to like Phil Collins and you know Janet Jackson, stuff like that. So I had like you had
a nice range of exposure.
Dabbling dabbling around with. Yeah. So I was listening to a lot of that stuff growing up. So like I said, like the Grover and Art Porter and Candy Duffler and I listen to lots. I listen to Charlie Parker and Miles Davis
Oh wow.
and
Yeah.
Cannonball Adderley. I was listening to like I said, I was listening to rap. I was listening to Too Short. And I mean, this back in the day.
But that's good. That's really good.
But it all was like all kind of like one and the same, because when rap came in, they was taking a lot of the jazz stuff and the R&B stuff and rapping on top of it, so it all intermeshed. But that was pretty much
okay.
All of that and the stuff too, and stuff I was listening to.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you said that. I got a game for you. I got a game for you, Charles. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a slide on the screen, and it's going to be pictures. And you have to look at the pictures and see if you can figure out the title of the song. Once you figure out the title of the song, then we're going to figure out the artist. Okay. You ready for the first one?
Okay.
And you can always, I mean, the people,
yeah, I'm ready.
The viewers, they like to help with this kind of stuff too. So you like, if you get stuck, you can always look in the comments and say, maybe you have to have an answer. Okay. All right. Here is the first one.
Okay. All right. Let's see what's that. Okay.
So it's that first picture and the second picture. What do you think that is?
Oh, that's Joy and Pain.
Joy
Sunshine
and
Rain.
And who is the artist?
Oh, that's Maze all day.
Is Maze
Uncle Frank is a relative in the community here in Detroit.
You are right. You are absolutely right. All right. Okay, you're doing pretty good. Charles, you're doing pretty good. All right, here's the next one.
Look, so that was the first one. We'll see if I get this next one.
All right, here's the next one.
Oh, is that Superstar?
Superstar. Yes, sir.
Superstar.
And who sang that?
Luther. That's Luther. I think that was Big Luther.
Let me see.
It was Big Luther.
Let me see if you got this right.
Look, that's when he was coming out. He was in a full suit.
Yeah,
it
was Luther. Oh man. You know your stuff. I can't get you. Let me see. Okay, let's go. I do too, right? Okay, I bet you don't get this one. I bet you won't get this one. We'll see.
Okay, let's see. Oh, that's crazy.
Okay, let me know if you want a lifeline or if you want a hint.
Is that
Let me know if you need a lifeline or a hint.
Is that? I know that. So I want to say Thundercat, but Thundercat is the artist. I don't know. What is that? Is that
Thundercat? Oh no, it's not Thundercats.
No, that's. Look, I might be stumped on this one. That must be.
Let me give you a hint. The title has to do with where the cat is.
Oh, is that in the middle? Cat in the middle? Wait. Cat in the nah. I don't know. You got me on this one.
Okay, I'm gonna play it. I'm playing in the background. I was about to give him a hint.
Oh. I would have never got that.
What is
crazy.
it? What is it?
Okay. All right. That's
Between the sheets.
Man, I should have known that one. I should have known that one.
And who is
Man.
the artist? Who's the artist?
That's
Who
the
sang that?
Isley. That's old Uncle. That's Mr. Biggs in there.
Mr. Biggs, Isley Brothers. Yes. Okay, all right. This is the last one. This is the last one. You're doing good. You're good. Okay, here you go. So this one,
Okay.
all of these are representing the same thing. So it's not and this picture and this picture and this picture. It's not that they represent the same thing. So looking at that, what do you think that is? And it's a song. What do you see?
Oh, is that Golden? Live my life like it's Golden. Golden.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey.
You did it. Charles and won the game.
All right, I got 3 out of 4. That wasn't too bad.
You did good.
I wish I would have got that in between.
So
that was fun.
I was like, okay, I can't put 2 people in between the sheets because I might get dinged. You had to be very careful as about when you do stuff live. So I was like, well, what can I put?
Yeah, if it had been that, I would have figured it out. Right.
Okay, that was fun. You did really, really good. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. All right, what has been the highlight of your career so far?
The highlight of my career. I don't know.
Does that mean that? Wow.
I've had some highlights, I guess. I got to, play. Maybe the highlight of my career was when I was touring. I got a chance to tour with this band out of Chicago for a year, named Lubraphonic. And that was an amazing time for me. Overall, and I got to learn a lot. I made some lifelong friends in Chicago, and man, we just got to play and see some cool stuff, all over the country. In a van. We was in a van. We drove from.
Oh, y'all were like traveling on the road.
We drove out to Cali. We drove to New York. We drove to Florida.
That was fun.
We was all over. It was all right. I mean, it was a good time. It was, I mean, you're still in the van, so it's like, you don't want to do it too long. But I mean, just thinking back on it, man, we had some great times, and I got to see a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have seen had I not been in the back of that van. I got to go to Idaho and Montana and North Dakota, and I got out to, what's that out in New York where what's that, the Hamptons. We did some stuff out in the Hamptons, and
wow,
I just got to see and do stuff that we got to do a party for this hedge fund. This guy that ran this hedge fund, he had like this penthouse on top of Manhattan, and like you go out on the roof, he had like the top 3 floors. It just,
wow,
it was crazy.
Wow.
That was probably one of the highlights. That was a good one.
That was a good highlight. Okay.
Sorry.
I want to send a shout out. My big brother is actually hanging out with you. Earl Carter, guitarist Earl Carter is actually hanging out with you and supporting you tonight. He's in the feed.
Okay, my man.
Hey, Earl. He's been on the show a couple of times. Yeah.
Greetings.
He's a beast. He's a beast on that guitar. Oh my gosh. All right.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out now. Look, I'm gonna have to
Earl ain't no joke. He's been in the game for a while. He's been in the game for a long time. Yeah. I remember Earl when I was in my radio announcer days back, like in the 2000s, early 2000s and stuff. I remember him. Yeah, he's no joke. He's no joke. And he has such a humble spirit. Yeah. So yeah, hey Earl, it's good to see you. All right. Who would you most want to
Pleasure.
collaborate with? Who you haven't with already?
Quincy.
Quincy Jones? Okay.
Quincy Jones.
That'll take you into the next stratosphere for sure. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Quincy or Stevie.
Stevie, yeah.
I got some of my fellow Detroiters here too that, I need to collaborate with. A lot of us need to kind of get together and do something. But I mean, if you asking me like anybody, those would be the first two, Stevie and
Okay.
Quincy. Please and
So I'll make sure I'm going to put a hashtag on the show. I'm going to put a hashtag Quincy Jones and hashtag Stevie Wonder and see if they see it. Now, if they call you,
right.
FNL takes like a small nominal, fee, like a little gift. With like if they call you, if they,
I got you.
It's not impossible. All right.
No, not at all. I would never say that.
Yeah. Let's do some trivia. I have something I'm going to give away tonight. I've been giving away FNL cutting boards and pot warmers, and this is one hot warmer, so you can put a hot pot on this, take it off the stove, and let it do what it do on the countertop.
Oh, nice.
Let's do the trivia, and then we're going to listen to some more music. Okay, so hold tight. Let's see.
All right, great.
Charles, hold on. All right, so we have a 3-day weekend. I am an educator, so I am excited that I am off Monday. I do not know what to do with myself. So the question has to do with that. Okay. Which U.S. city hosted the first Labor Day parade? Was it Chi-Town, Los Angeles? Was it New York or Philadelphia? Put what you think the answer is in the comments. This is the very first Labor Day parade. Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, or Philadelphia? All right. So we'll find out who the winner is a little bit later on. All right. So what has been the biggest problem you encountered in your musical journey that you wouldn't mind sharing with us?
The biggest problem. I don't know if there are all kind of problems you can deal with in the music industry. I mean, you have to deal with, people trying to take advantage of you, or, sometimes you just got to learn the ropes, or, but those are things that you learn in any
That's
business.
Life.
You got to learn the business. Yeah, exactly. So, I wouldn't want to say, like opportunities and stuff like that, because a lot of that is just tied to how hard you working and how hard you networking and stuff like that. A lot of the difficulty comes with more the business side of the music. The money, the professionalism. You can have some great people, but if their professionalism isn't right, it's gonna make things harder. So, things like that can be challenging.
Yeah, exactly.
But those are just things that you just got to work through. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 3 years?
3 years, hopefully. Hopefully this project will be done that I'm working on with a few of my brothers here that we've been working on, and hopefully we'll be touring that in a city near you.
Oh, yes. That would be amazing. All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you could start all over again, would there be anything you would tell your younger saxophonist self?
Oh yeah.
He said, "Oh yeah."
I would tell. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think I would focus on different things earlier. Some things I was exposed to a little later in my development that kind of held me back a little bit, but I would have learned, all my skills and everything real good earlier.
Okay. Okay. Um,
Mm.
okay. So, can you tell us a little bit about the project that you're working on without giving too much information? Like, can you tell us what that you're working on? Like, is it like another album? Is it like a single? Is it what's the flavor like? What is the vibe of it? Like,
No,
what do
it's
you?
going to be so. So it's going to be an album. We got about 5 songs done already, and it's not it's one of the things where um we still got a lot of stuff in the works, but we got some things done. We don't even have a band name yet. These are so my keyboardist in the video that we watched previously and the one that we're going to watch in a second here, the great James Shelton. He reached out to me and told me about a band he was putting together and wanted me to be a part. So, we started off in the basement. And we just kind of built these songs out together.
Okay.
And when I tell you, I'm not so this project, I'm not exactly sure if this is something that we're going to I'm not sure if we're going to put it out or if we're going to try to shop it for movies or what we're going to do with it exactly. But these songs, man, if you could hear how they started and how they sound now, yeah,
night and day. Yeah, I bet
but like
you.
I said, hopefully,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we should be wrapping it up in another, I don't know, probably towards the end of the year. I'm hoping.
Oh, okay. I got time for one question. There's a question on here from Amy Worth. Hey, Amy, what was the first job you ever had? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a job in the music industry. Uh-oh.
All right, so my first job. My first job was a disaster. So my first job, my first job. So I wanted. No, so
You got us at the edge of our seats, Charles.
So back in the day, so I was born. So I got my first job. I was about 15. This is like 1995. And the only reason why I got this job is because I wanted certain kind of clothes. Now, my parents got me everything I wanted, but they wouldn't buy me no Jordans. So I'm like, all right, so I got it. I'm going to get me a job and I get my own Jordans. So I goes down to Wendy's and I go and, first job interview and everything. And so they like, okay, all right, cool. So they hire me. I go in. And I do nothing about cooking I didn't cook or clean like that at home. I had no business working a job. None.
Oh my goodness.
And so I just remember one day I was at work and it was one of the times we were slow or maybe I can't remember if what was going on at the time, but basically they was like, hey, we want you to, because it was like 2 sides where we would work. If we're busy, it would be 2 sides open. But one day, this particular day, the one side was closed. So they like, sweep, mop this floor over here. So I'm like, okay. And so I don't know if you've seen Coming to America, but it was almost like that. I had, when he got that job at McDonald's and he was like, you know how to mop? And he was like, yes.
And he had to mop in the bucket
So
and
I,
was moving
but
the bucket
I,
around
now
on
I
the floor.
took the now I took the mop out the bucket, but I took the mop out the bucket, but I mopped myself into a corner, and I remember the
Oh,
manager walking by, and he did like one of these
what in the world?
like what? And he just walked on by. I guess he's like he'll see it in a minute. So yeah, that was my first job. I lasted about 3 weeks. I was out of there. I quit. I was done. That was it. I had nothing. And I haven't worked fast food since. I knew
That was
then
not.
I had no business
Mhm.
being in fast food. So I've never, ever done that since.
Thank you for sharing that that experience. Amy, thank you for the question. All right, we're down to the last 5 minutes, and
Thank
I
you,
want to make sure I
Amy.
get this. Yeah, I want to make sure that I get the your last project out. First, we need to find out who won the uh, the pot warmer. So let me see. This was the question. Which U.S. city hosted the first Labor Day parade? Charles, you know who it is? You want to take a guess?
I was thinking about this. This is hard because this is like I don't know. Initially I was thinking New York, but I see Philadelphia here. Nah, I think I'm gonna go with Philly.
It was New York. I put Philadelphia on there to kind of put a spin on it.
Ah,
Yeah, it was New York. You had it right the first time. That's all right. Good, good. Did
I
we
should
have
have
a
stayed
winner
with my. I
tonight,
should have stayed
Cheryl?
with New York.
Ada Foster. Oh, my auntie in Kansas City. My auntie Ada. Okay. She's gonna win the pot warmer. Congratulations, auntie. Love you. All right. Okay, Charles. So
Congrats.
I want to first off thank you so much. I know that you have a busy schedule, and I want to thank you so much first off for accepting our invitation to come to the show, and thank you for coming and sharing your beautiful gift with us. Want to wish you best wishes on your future project that you're working on. And when time permits, once you get that project done, you got to call me so you can come back because we want to hear all about it. We want to support you on it. Yeah, don't forget about me. And
I will not.
don't forget about me because I'll call. I'll call. um, and I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you once again. This was a wonderful interview. We have people from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram that are actually listening to you. So I wanted to invite you if you have time to go back and look at some of the comments that they put on you and be encouraged. I wanted to give this time for you to say a few words if you have a few words, and I wanted you to introduce the final song, I Can't Help It, which is interesting because that's a Michael Jackson song, and Michael Jackson's birthday was actually yesterday. So this is pretty cool. Yeah. He was actually born in 1958, August 29th, 1958. So how old is that? Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. So I want you to give final words and then tell us about this last project, and then we're going to end the show with that. All right, so it's all you, Charles.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for having me. I know we've played tag for a little bit here, but I'm so thankful, and I love this interview. It was so nice.
Thank you.
This last tune is, as you said, it's a Michael Jackson tune. I Can't Help It. It's probably one of my favorite Michael Jackson tunes to play. I didn't realize that his birthday was yesterday.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this was so yeah. So when we did this particular show, we didn't have a rehearsal for this show. We just
Are
kind
you
of, I
serious?
yeah, I was just kind of calling. We were just calling some songs off the fly that
Wow.
we like to make things interesting or whatever. So yeah, so this was, and I just kind of like how this song just kind of came together. So that's why we kind of went with that. So it was just kind of like, okay, like what's the next song? Let's do this one. All right, start off, James. So that's how we get into it. James starts us off in this one.
All right, so
The
we're going to
great
check
James
out.
Shelton.
Yes. All right, so we're going to check it out. I want the viewers to know that FNL is going to Nigeria next week. I actually interviewed a Nigerian poet, and because of the time difference, we had to record it in advance because it's really late there. And so he asked me, could we do that? So next week, we're going to be listening to a Nigerian poet, and I do have something to give away on the following Friday. So you all stay tuned to that. It was a very interesting interview. All right. Have a great and safe holiday, everybody. Be safe out there. Relax, spend some time with family, and make some great memories. And Charles, I will be talking to you soon. All right.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good
Absolutely.
night, everybody.
All right, here it is. I can't help it. Charles Prophet Jr.
I like that.
Hey y'all, what's up? This is Sinbad. I want you to tell you something right now. I want y'all to, y'all know me from acting, y'all know me from comedy and all that stuff, but this ain't about me, man. I'm glad you tuned into one of the most positive platforms on social media, Friday Night Live with my good friend, Kat Carter. Stay tuned and be blessed. Go on, Kat. Tell them what it's all about.